So take a finite dimensional vector space, a linear map from V to V is called to be a linear operator. Okay, is said to be a linear operator on V. So the domain space and the range, they are same. Okay, so map linear transformation from V to V is called a linear operator. Okay, so fix two bases of V. Okay, fix two bases of V. Yeah, then we can construct the matrix of T with respect to B. This is called the matrix of T with respect to the ordered basis. So both the domain and the codomain are the same. So I am taking the same basis B of these things, and then I write a matrix of this linear transformation. Yeah, this is called the matrix of T with respect to this ordered basis. Now I can do this for another basis C and find the matrix of the same linear transformation with respect to another basis. Yeah. So then to connect these two matrices, I will take help of the transition matrix. So I introduced earlier the transition matrix MCB from C to B. Yeah. But the MCB, let's understand what MCB is. MCB is really the matrix of identity map, okay, from V to V. So take from V to B and take the basis C here and take the basis B here. Okay, same vector space, two different bases. Now apply the identity linear transformation. Okay, suppose so C was U1, UN, okay, and B is V1, Vn. Yeah, identity map will take UI to UI. Okay, take UI to UI. So if I want to write the matrix of identity map when the domain space has basis C and the codomain space has basis B, that is consisting of some column vectors, and the column vector, to determine the column ith column vector, I have to apply the linear transformation on ith basis vector. This is UI, and then write the coordinate vector of UI with respect to the new basis. Okay, so I have to write coordinate vector of UI with respect to the basis B. So U1, write coordinate vector with respect to B, etc. But this is exactly MCB. Remember MCB, what did we do in MCB? The column vectors of MCB were simply the coordinate vectors of the basis vectors in C with respect to the basis B. Then I get MCB. So MCB, the transition matrix from V to V, MCB is simply the matrix of the identity map from V to V when the domain space has basis C and the codomain space has basis B. Okay, yeah. So keep that in mind. So therefore, we proved in general that MCB is equal to MBC inverse. Okay, this is we proved earlier. So MCB of I is same as MBC of I inverse. So take a finite dimensional vector space, take two bases or ordered bases. Then we want to understand the connection between the matrix of T with respect to one basis and matrix of T with respect to another basis. And that says that the matrix of T with respect to basis B is obtained from matrix of T with respect to basis C by multiplying on the right by MCB and multiplying on the left by MCB. This is just MCB. Okay, so matrix of, once I have matrix of T with respect to a basis C, I can determine the matrix of T with respect to another basis simply by multiplying on the right and left by these transition matrices. Okay, you have to keep in mind the order in which we are writing this. So this is best written as MCB and then matrix of T with respect to C times MBC. This is MBC. Okay, so take the transition matrix MBC, multiply on the left by MCCT and then MCB, I will get the matrix of T with respect to B. Okay, so these locations of B are clear. B is here and B is here. The rest are all C. Keep that in mind. Matrix of T with respect to B is, I have to take transition matrix from C to B, then matrix of T from C to C, and then transition matrix from B to C. Okay, So you have done some exercise earlier that says that these two matrices are similar matrices. MBBT and MCCT, they are similar matrices, because this matrix is obtained from this matrix by multiplying on the right by a matrix and multiplying on the left by its inverse. Okay, so if I have taken a matrix C, then C inverse AC, this is a matrix which is similar to A. Okay, there are many properties which are common between similar matrices, and this is saying that this proposition is saying that the matrix of a linear transformation with respect to two different bases are actually similar matrices. Yeah, they will have many properties in common. So so the linear transformation can be studied with respect to a carefully chosen basis, so that its matrix turns out to be simpler. And this proposition is saying that actually the properties of the matrix are one and the same, because these matrices are similar. If I change from one basis to another, the matrices with respect to different bases are going to be similar to each other. Okay, so to prove this equation, let us look at the linear transformation identity map from V to V, where I fix the domain B and the basis B of V and basis C of B. Then I have the linear transformation T from VC to VC, which means I have basis C of V. Yeah. So this is the we can determine the matrix of T when we fix basis C. So I will get MCCT from here, and here is the identity map from V to V, where I have changed the ordering of the bases. This domain has basis C now, and here it has basis B. So this will give me matrix of identity map with respect to basis C and B, and this is the transition matrix from C to B. Okay, and here this matrix will be MBC of I, but this is the transition matrix. Okay, so I have identity map, I have the linear transformation T, I have the identity map. If I compose these, I get the map T from VB to VB. Yeah, T is simply identity map composed with T, composed with identity. So it is a map from VB to VB. V to V, where the basis of domain and codomain is B. So I can use this earlier proposition that the matrix of composition is product of the matrices. So matrix of this linear transformation when I have basis B will be simply MBT, but that is the product of MCBI and then MCCT and then MBCI. So this gives me that matrix of T with respect to B is matrix of T with respect to C. On the right, I multiply transition matrix from B to C. On the left, I multiply by transition matrix from C to B. So these two matrices with respect to two different bases of the same linear transformation, they are therefore similar matrices. Yeah. Let me give an example. Consider the following linear transformation from R2 to R2, where E1 is E1 and E2 is mapped to E1 plus E2. Yeah, E1 is mapped to E1, that remains fixed, but E2 is mapped to E1 plus E2. Yeah, let us take C to be the standard basis of R2 and B to be the basis E1 plus E2 and E1 minus E2. So what are these bases? Okay, E1 plus E2 is this vector. E1 plus E2 is this vector 1 1, and E1 minus E2 is the vector 1 minus 1. Okay, 1 minus 1. Where is 1 minus 1? 1 minus 1. Yeah, x coordinate is 1 and y coordinate is minus 1. So it is here. So these two vectors, okay, they are linearly independent because neither is a scalar multiple for another. So E1 plus E2 and E1 minus E2 are two. These are two ordered bases. So this is the standard basis. Yeah, E1 and E2. The other basis is E1 plus E2 and E1 minus E2. Okay, and T is this map. Which says we sends E1 to E1 and E2 to E1 plus E2. I want to find the two matrices of T with respect to these two bases and the transition matrix and verify. Okay, so matrix of T with respect to basis C. C is the standard basis. How to find matrix of T with respect to standard basis? I will operate T on E1, T on E2, and find the coordinates with respect to C itself. So T of E1 is E1, and that is the vector 1, 0. The coordinate vector of E1 with respect to E1, E2 is 1, 0. The coordinate vector of T2, that is E1 plus E2. So coordinate vector of E1 plus E2 with respect to C is 1, 1. So this is the matrix of T with respect to C. Okay, yeah. Then the transition matrix of from B to C. What is the transition matrix from B to C? I take the basis vectors in B and write their coordinate vectors with respect to C. Okay, so these are the basis vectors in B, and I write the coordinate vectors of E1 plus E2 and E1 minus E2 with respect to basis C. So if I write E1 plus E2 as a linear combination of E1 and E2, it is 1, 1. This is the coordinate vector of E1 plus E2. Coordinate vector of E1 minus E2 with respect to standard basis is just 1 minus 1. So this is the transition matrix from B to C. Transition matrix from C to B, I take vectors in C and write them as linear combinations of vectors in B. So I will get this matrix. Yeah. So E1 is E1 plus E2 plus E1 minus E2, half of E1 plus E2 plus half of E1 minus E2. So coordinates of E1 with respect to B are half. Coordinates of E2 with respect to the vectors in B are half minus half. So this is the transition matrix from C to B. I have transition matrix from B to C, and so I can find the matrix of B T with respect to B. Yeah, that is equal to here. Yeah, C matrix and then BC. So just multiply. I can find this, multiply this with matrix with MBC on the right and MCB on the left, and you will see that this is the matrix of B. And you can check matrix of T with respect to B. Yeah, matrix of T with respect to the basis B. How to find that? Well, I operate T on E1 plus E2 and E1 minus E2 and take the coordinate vectors, and you can check that this is correct. Okay, so matrix of a linear transformation exists with respect to any basis, and the matrices of same linear transformation with respect to two different bases are similar, and this algorithm gives you matrix of T with respect to B if I know the matrix of T with respect to C. Okay, and the process is pre-multiplying and post-multiplying by matrices of these transition matrices from one basis to another. Okay, yeah. All right. So finally, we want to see what happens to dimension when we add two subspaces. Yeah, a vector space has all kinds of subspaces. So in R3, for example, any plane passing through origin represents a two-dimensional space, and any line passing through origin represents a one-dimensional space. Yeah. So I can add vector spaces simply by taking their basis and their linear span. Okay. So given subspaces V and W of a vector space U, I will define. So U is my vector space and V and W are two subspaces. I want to define a larger vector space which we represent by V plus W, and V plus W by definition is linear span of V union W. Okay, so take all vectors in V, all vectors in W, and take their linear combination, and that is the sum of these two. So we are adding all vectors in V with all vectors in W, nothing more. Yeah, this is simply all vectors. V is in V and W in W. This is nothing but the linear span of V union W. Okay, so take two subspaces of a finite dimensional vector space, then the dimension of the sum is the sum of the dimensions minus dimension of intersection. Okay, so there is, when I add dimension of two subspaces, yeah, I get some excess number, but I have to subtract the dimension of the intersection. So here is my V and here is W. Okay, if I add V to W, there is an overcounting, and I have to remove the dimension of the intersection. Okay, so here is the sketch of the proof. Right? So this is an unusual proof because we are going to apply rank nullity theorem to find dimension of V and W. So please pay attention. Yeah, I will explain. I want to find dimension of the sum, okay, and relate it with the dimensions of V, dimension of W, and dimension of the intersection. So there is a non-trivial step in this proof. We want to understand that first. So take the Cartesian product of V and W. This is simply pairs V and W, where V is a vector in V and W is a vector in W. Yeah. So this we do. How to construct, say, R2? Yeah. R2 simply consists of A, B. Yeah, where A and B are just real numbers. So now R is a vector space, and I take their Cartesian product, I get R2. Okay, I get R2. So similar construction is being done here. I have these two abstract vector spaces V and W. Yeah, then I make ordered pair VW, and this is a vector space. V cross W is a vector space. So in order to make a set into vector space, I have to tell you what is the addition and what is the scalar multiplication. So both are vector spaces over the same field of scalars. Yeah, all U is a big vector space, U is a big vector space, and V and W are subspaces. So all these three are vector spaces over the same field of scalars. Okay, how do we add ordered pairs? Just like we add vectors in R3 or Rn, simply add component wise. This is equal to V plus V prime and W plus W prime. And alpha I V comma W is simply alpha V alpha W. Okay, so I have introduced in V cross W the addition and scalar multiplication. You can go back to the 10 axioms of a vector space and see that it is actually a vector space with respect to component wise addition and scalar multiplication. Yeah, V cross W is called Cartesian product of V and W, and it is a vector space. All right. The dimension of this vector space is dimension V plus dimension W. So to prove that dimension of vector space is this number, I have to produce a basis which has as many elements as the sum of the dimensions. Okay, so how do we do that? So vectors in V cross W are of this type. Okay, they are of this type. So this V I can take instead of V, I can take the basis vectors V1, Vi. I fix a basis of V, V1 up to Vm, and I fix a basis W1, Wn of W. So in the first component, I take Vi. Okay. In the second component, I take 0. Then I take 0 and Wj. Okay. Now any vector V comma W will be a linear combination of these vectors. Because suppose I write V as alpha 1, V as alpha 1 V1 plus alpha n Vn, then W as beta 1 W1 plus beta m Wm, then V comma W will be alpha 1 V1 0, alpha 2 V2 0, etc. And then to get the other vectors, I put beta 1 0 W1 plus beta 2 0 W2, etc. So that says that these vectors Vi 0 and 0 Wj, their linear span is V cross W, and they are linearly independent. These m plus n vectors are linearly independent. Okay, so these are dimension V plus dimension W vectors. So dimension of this space is sum of the dimension of. So please write a proof that dimension of V cross W is dimension V plus dimension W by exhibiting a explicit basis which is constructed out of basis of V and W. Okay, yeah. Now V plus W I defined as linear span of V and V union W, and V cross W I just defined Cartesian product of V and W. Now consider the following linear map. T of this ordered pair is simply V minus W. Okay, this is a linear transformation. You can check that this is a linear transformation. Yeah, and it is on 2. This is on 2 because any vector here is of this type V plus W, and that is image of V minus W. And the null space, what is the null space? Null space of this map consists of all VW, so that V rank of T is dimension of V plus W, right? And nullity of T is the dimension of this, which is equal to dimension of V. So rank plus nullity, this is the dimension of V cross W. Okay, so therefore this theorem follows. Dimension of V plus W is dimension V plus dimension W minus this, because by rank nullity theorem. Okay, so here is exercise. Let V and W be vector spaces over F with dimension n and m respectively. Find ordered basis E and F of V and W. Consider the map from LVW to this given by Ft equal to matrix of T, and show that it is a isomorphism. I have indicated the proof in the earlier slide, and that shows that the dimension of the space of linear transformation of V to W is same as dimension of the matrices m by n matrices, and the dimension of the space of m by n matrices, I know it is equal to mn. So space of linear transformation from V to W is a vector space whose dimension is m times n, which is the dimension of V times W. So we have constructed a new vector space out of VW, and its dimension is a product of the dimensions, and I have constructed another vector space from V and W, which is the sum of these two, and its dimension is the dimension of V plus dimension of W minus dimension of intersection. Okay, so we will